Who Let the Dogs Out is a song performed by the Bahamian group Baha Men. Originally released by Anselm Douglas titled Doggy, it was covered by producer Jonathan King, who sang it under the name Fat Jack and his Pack of Pets. He brought the song to the attention of his friend Steve Greenberg, who then had the Baha Men cover the song. The song peaked at number 2 on the UK singles chart, as well as topping the charts in Australia and New Zealand, and reached top 40 in the United States. The track went on to win the Grammy for Best Dance Recording on the 2001 Grammy Awards. And let me tell you why it's inferior in every way to Orin Waters' Digga Digga Dog.
Digga digga dog, bow wow,
Digga Digga Dog,
yippee
Digga
yay.
Digga Dog, Digga Digga Dog.
Digga digga dog, digga dog.
Welcome to Rough Cuts.
Dogs, they're coming. They're coming your way. They'll be here soon.
Thanks to the miraculous therapy of Dr. Pavlov, my client actually has an aversion to fur.
No, get it away from me.
Just this side of barking mad.
So you won't be wanting this, then?
Cruella de Vil has been cured.
If you repeat the offense, your entire fortune will go to the dogs.
I have so much to atone for.
Today, Cruella de Vil rescued a London dog shelter.
Meet Waddlesworth. He's a Rottweiler.
He looks like a macaw.
She's making the most of her second chance.
There must be a statement. You like?
Unfortunately,
You have doggies.
Domino, Little Dipper, and Oddball.
temptation has a brand new face.
Sleep, puppy. You're right. I'm seeing sports.
Mr. Veal?
Cruella's
Disney's 102 Dalmatians.
I think I deserve a second chance, too.
Hello, how's it going, everybody? I'm Boix. This is Ilion. We're here with Rough Cuts, episode 70.
You made me get up an hour earlier for this, and I'm never forgiving you.
You're welcome. Watching 102 Dalmatians, the live-action sequel to 101 Dalmatians. No, not the new one. Not Cruella. This is the other one where you're supposed to feel sympathy for the villain and then immediately throws it out the window.
I don't think we were ever supposed to feel sympathy for her in this. I never felt sympathy for anyone in this.
Every character in this movie is awful. In some way. Not necessarily like a terrible person, but boring or like not a character.
Not in yes. I was gonna say there's one character that's not a total fucking shitheel, and that is wait, what's his name?
Are you talking about the main character? Our guy?
I mean, he's not the main character. She's the main, like the
discount Antonio Banderas.
Yes,
that guy. One of our heroes from the failed flop of a Fantastic Four franchise before they rebooted it again.
Yes, that guy.
That guy.
Anyways,
we don't need to know his name.
Yeah, he's the only one that's not a piece of shit, but then also he's a fucking cardboard man. So he's not a piece of shit just simply because he has zero character.
I can't imagine the guy with no charisma couldn't carry the Fantastic Four franchise. Weird.
Yeah. No idea why that bombed.
Fucking Christ. A live action... Okay, first of all, Disney should stop making live action movies of their animated films.
Mm-hmm.
For almost all of them. There might be one or two that's like good, but it doesn't need to exist. The reason these movies exist is to hold the
I don't know
copyright.
if any of them are good. I don't think any of them are good.
But they exist to hold the copyright of the original animated films. That's why they exist.
Maybe.
It has to be, right?
I mean,
it's coming around on the 2030 year before it expires, and like, shit, we have to make another one.
Apparently, like, no wonder why it got a sequel. It made $320 million, 101 Dalmatians.
Is this the one that started the live-action remakes? Like, not this one, but the 101 Dalmatians?
Yes. Okay. Yes, almost for sure.
Can we go back in time and make them not do that?
Yeah, we need to assassinate whoever was making that, correct.
Okay.
Sweet and solid.
We should write a movie about stopping Disney from making live-action movies.
That might be part of it, but also let me make you feel very bad for a moment and say that Glenn Close was nominated for a Golden Globe for the original 101 Dalmatians, although that might actually be reasonable because she's pretty good in this too. But,
she's the best part of the movie.
Yeah,
easily.
Yeah. She's trying. It also made $320 million.
How?
People are morons.
People
suck. I'm like, I don't want to say that people are morons. I don't want to be this angry, but I have no other explanation for this at all.
This movie is for 4-year-olds. Except there's a big asterisk to that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
No.
There's a big asterisk.
We spent the entire movie being very upset because the only reason why you wanted to watch this was there was reviews that said, like, oh man, it is far more violent than a G movie should ever possibly be.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't. It was just boring and stupid.
Until it
suddenly it was extremely violent.
Yeah, it was really boring and dry until it wasn't. And then it's like
the last 5 minutes suddenly fucking God. I'd rather watch Marathon Man and having what's his name pulling out Dustin Hoffman's teeth and seeing the full torture scene with this. They really do. It's pretty bad.
It's so mean-spirited too. It's like, what the fuck?
Everything about this movie is mean-spirited.
Who does this movie like? Is there anybody this movie likes? It hates the poor.
No, I know.
It hates the rich. Nobody can have a second chance ever because they'll always fail.
Yep, I know. See, you're close. You're close to who this movie likes.
Cops?
There you go. Yep.
Is that the only person?
This movie loves cops. This movie loves cops. This movie is the Blue Lives Matter of fucking Disney films.
The hero of this film is a probation officer.
Yes, she is as awful a probation officer as you can expect, where she constantly talks about how obviously nobody reforms and they should all just be locked up forever and what shitty, awful people they are for doing minor infractions while they're desperately poor. And she insults and berates them and belittles them the whole time, and she's proven right.
And she's right. The moral of this film is that if anybody has done a crime, they're irredeemable as a human being.
Correct.
Any
crime.
And then you need to, on display, just torture and murder them.
Yes. Yeah.
What the fuck?
There's no, why would we need things like probation? You should just absolutely just straight up murder them.
We need to be more specific about that because they bake her like a cake.
Yes.
Literally.
Yes.
She's a cake.
They throw her in an oven.
Oh my god.
They do so many things to her at the end of this movie.
Fuck.
It's fucked up. This movie gets fucking wild.
This movie has some scenes that are very Clockwork Orange in my head. Just nightmare fuel, like horrible things. And then in the middle is just a bunch of boring romance shit that no one cares about. That the movie doesn't even set up.
That's not set up, that's not really paid off, that has no real reason for being in the film at all. It's just...
And all it does is reference other movies and be like, hey, remember this romantic scene?
Yeah, they have no... This movie, you called it. There's a moment in this film where you said, Jesus Christ, why does this film have to hammer you over the head with everything? As you're saying that, we get a romantic scene of our lead male and our lead woman, like our lead man and lead woman.
Our lead
on a date
couple. Yeah.
Yes. At a Italian restaurant. And it keeps cutting back and forth between Lady and the Tramp on like the dogs are watching on a TV, and then doing the exact scene. Because it's like, well, nobody will actually understand this unless we directly show it to them.
Yeah.
Like, this movie hates its audience. It's so insulting to watch.
It talks down to its audience. This movie like hits you over the head with a hammer. Oh, we could be watching that movie.
It's for idiots. Yes.
We could be watching that movie
because that's a good movie.
Look at that movie. We could watch that one.
Like in some absolute shithole movie like this, there's Lady and the Tramp, and it's no problem. Like they don't care about the copyright issues. Oh, are they? Okay,
they're doing the whole
hitting
thing
you over the head.
They're doing the whole thing.
Holy fuck!
Look, when the moon meets your eye, that's a bell.
God,
amore.
Oh my fucking god.
Oh my god, this film.
Like, I love that when you were talking about it being unsubtle, that happened, and I'm like, holy shit. Like,
every single character in this movie is also a caricature.
Yes. The city is a caricature.
The city is a caricature
of
British.
The city is a caricature.
British caricature, yeah. Because it's London, but the only way you know it's London is because Big Ben constantly rings.
It feels like it's like, oh, everybody takes the lorry everywhere and has tea and crumpets and everybody wears bowler hat. Like, it's like this fucking fairy tale weird ass Britain that just super doesn't exist. Like you said, like, of course, the probation's officer's office is beside Big Ben. Like, and I don't mean like beside it as in on the ground, like near it. I mean,
yeah,
she could like take a broom, throw it, and hit Big Ben from her window.
Maybe the probation office is in the palace next to
what?
Like, it doesn't make
Why
sense,
is it
right?
There?
It doesn't make sense. It's because stupid Americans don't know anything about like
London.
the UK and London.
Yeah, it's there because, well, what do British people? They've got the big clock, right?
Maybe it was supposed to be cute.
Clock.
It came off as just stupid.
Well, and then the best part about that is that it was all set up for a thing, which is kind of amazing. And no, you can't roll your eyes. That was one of the better parts of this movie. That was amazing. That was great. It's terrible, but it's great. But it's the setup for that. And then the minute that scene happens, they never have the clock come up again. She's never in her office again. She's never near the Big Ben again. Like, they filmed it for one day near Big Ben. They had, like, the opportunity to film in an office near Big Ben for one day. They did all those scenes real quick and fucking shuffled it out of the movie.
You think that was a real video of Big Ben? I think they just CGI'd it.
Maybe
in a set.
Honestly,
I don't think they had a real
real
office. No, that looks CGI'd.
Fair. I was not paying enough attention. I don't know.
This movie had a lot of TV lighting too. I think in a lot of those places.
Yeah, this movie is cheap as shit.
So speaking of that setup with Big Ben, the movie opens up with an animal prison where like a scientist is doing experiments to hypnotize animals to react in a more calm manner.
Yes.
And
he
inside
gives them drugs and green veggies, which actually was
he
kind
drugs
of funny.
them up. Yeah, he drugs
which
them up.
Which is kind of funny as a line. Lots of drugs and green veggies.
And then Cruella is in one of the cells with a bunch of Dalmatians because she's been brainwashed to now like dogs.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
I mean, this is a prison, not a pet shop.
And I don't represent animals in court. Dr. Pavlov,
well, at least it's a real dog prison, right?
This is a real human dog prison. Yep.
Oh, and Cruella's in there.
Oh, fucking hell.
What the fuck?
What?
What?
Yeah, it's great that they locked her in this horrible dungeon. Like, it is a dank, awful, horrible cell.
And not in the weed way. Light. There was no weed there. It was just dank.
It's just dank, yeah, just regular dank. It's the drugs weren't good drugs.
They weren't the good drugs.
It wasn't the green drugs and veggies.
Yeah, no.
Drugs and plenty of green vegetables.
But because she's been brainwashed, now she can go on probation with the court. And get out of her prison cell of animal prison, where they do experiments on animals with drugs.
Yes. Because that's what the state does. Yeah. Remember,
What?
this is a good thing. Also, I just want to mention, so I said that this movie is cheap. I should say that it looks cheap because I just double checked. And 101 Dalmatians has a lower budget than this movie. This one got like another
more money on
$20 million. It was $85 million budget on this movie.
Well, I can see where they spent it.
In 2000.
There's some big sets.
There are, but
they look way out of place, but there's big sets. Like at one point there's a fucking cave with like an altar in the middle of it with a fire. Like you'd expect this out of, I don't know, some movie
Indiana
about
Jones
like Indiana Jones.
Yes.
It's out of place. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. There's a lot of that. Yes, there's a lot of that.
Here.
I feel like this movie, but like it still like you said, like it looks bad though. Like it looks.
Oh, it doesn't look good. Yeah.
Which is, it feels like it's just that it's not that it's cheap, it's that it's talentless. How's that? Can I just?
There's no cohesion. Is the main problem.
No, that also.
That's the main issue.
Yeah.
But I can see where they spent the money. I just don't think they spent it well.
Yeah, no. Yeah. It did win an Academy Award for Best Costume Design, and I will give it that.
I do think the costumes are good, especially Kraven the Hunter.
Yes.
Kraven the Hunter and his leopard bobblehead
Tiger dick.
Tiger dick.
Tiger dick.
Which is what it is.
He's got a fake tiger dick.
What it is. But anyway, so Cruella gets rehabilitated because of
we're just gonna gloss over that. We're just gonna don't worry about that. We'll get to it. We'll get to it later.
We'll get to it. But so because of brainwashing drugs, she goes on probation. And the probation officer, which is apparently a character from the first film and the couple.
No, it's not.
Film,
no, it's
right?
not.
Is it? Is it a different character?
No, I said, like, I told you again, like, there's only 2 actors that came over to this movie.
Well, I know actors, but character. It
no,
might be
it's
the same
not
character.
No,
Okay.
it's not. No, she doesn't know.
Why did they
They're
do the
totally
same
different
fucking
people.
thing then?
Why does she have the same dogs? Why does she have the... Yeah, why does she even have the dogs that Cruella kidnapped in the first one?
Yes.
Who fucking knows? The movie doesn't care.
Like, I figured it had to be the same
No.
couple. Oh
I keep on telling you that. No.
Okay, anyways, the guy who's boring and has no charisma is at a dog shelter that he runs, which is called Second Chance, and it's a shelter that they only send criminals on probation to work as a second chance in society, because it's the only way you can get integrated into society is to prove your worth through work.
Yes. This is accurate for the prison system, but...
Okay, so there's a bunch of dogs there. There's also a parrot, which is just Eric Idle in a parrot suit, who does nothing but talk constantly, but we're still not sure if he's talking to the humans and the humans can hear him or not, because it's ambiguous, and it only matters when the film thinks it matters.
Because, okay, so he's not talking like, I'm a parrot. He's just talking regular human sentences.
He's like, hi, I'm a parrot, I'm a dog, actually, not a parrot, you dummy.
Yeah,
I'm a Rottweiler.
A dog, yes.
I'm a dog.
Kevin, how many times have I had to tell you it's pointless for you humans to protect the war against ass dogs?
But he talks like he's like, oh, let go of my paw, you idiot. Don't throw me. I can't fly. I'm a dog. And just in a normal human voice. And the characters acknowledge, but don't acknowledge it at the same time. Like, various times they acknowledge it, and then other times they ignore it. And
there's
still have no idea when he's talking.
There's also sometimes where the dogs are just barking, and the humans can understand them, but we as the audience cannot.
Yes, they don't subtitle the dogs, they don't do anything like that, but all the people go like, oh, wow, Timmy's down the well? Amazing. And run off. And wait, what?
It would make a worse movie if the dogs talked. But at the same time, at least I would know what the fuck is happening.
Well, this is the one time when they needed to do it, just because, they shouldn't have set it up where the dogs needed to talk. But since they did, having them not talk is worse. Because then it's really nonsense. Like,
there's just
I understand the aversion to not having dogs talk.
Yeah. Oh, you speak French? I didn't know that. Oh.
Yeah! Yeah, yes, the dog barks and he goes, oh, you speak French? I didn't know. And you were like, do they understand? Do they get the dogs? Because I don't
I don't understand the dog. What's happening?
What are you talking about? What do you mean?
So the second chance shelter is going to get evicted and shut down because they haven't been able to pay their bills.
Yes.
Right? So at that point, Cruella goes back to her house and throws all of her furs into her dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
Because she hates fur.
Dungeon.
Her dungeon. Her sex
She
dungeon.
literally has a dungeon. Just pointing that out.
Her sex dungeon behind her Game of Thrones throne.
Yes.
That's not a joke.
Also, when you say sex dungeon, I want to make it very, very, very clear that you're not joking. Everyone in this movie is weirdly, explicitly horny.
Everybody in this movie
Everybody
wants to
fucks.
bone. They all want to fuck.
They don't just want to. They do. Like,
Yeah,
it's off screen, but you know they fuck. Have you seen Gerard Depardieu's tiger dick?
Yeah,
that man fucks.
It makes sense that Kraven the Hunter wants to fuck. We all know that.
Mm.
But, I mean, Cruella's also just really horny.
Oh, everyone's weirdly horny.
The parrot's horny.
Yes.
Fucking... Our main characters are horny for each other. Everybody's
No, they're not. No.
No,
that's the one exception.
They have no
charisma.
They have no chemistry, but they want to be horny.
They aspire to horniness, but they don't get there.
They're not quite on the level of a tiger dick.
No, or a Glenn. No, they don't hit Glenn Close or Gerard Depardieu even close.
No. Alonzo wants to fuck. That's the butler.
Oh yeah. Tim McHenry is great.
Jesus Christ.
They have all of the villains are really good, interesting actors, and they carry so much of this movie. And the two leads
the
are
people
the
you're
most
supposed to root for suck.
Yeah, they're the most bland, uninteresting, garbage people in this movie. They're just, like, so fucking boring to watch. They don't do anything.
So Cruella goes to the second chance shelter for a job.
Yes.
Because that's where everybody on probation goes.
And she loves puppies.
And she loves Puppy, and also call her Ella now, because she's different.
She's not cruel anymore.
Yeah, she's not cruel. I'm just Ella. There's a scene where there's all the dogs holding protest signs about the eviction. And the news shows up, and our main character, and the eviction guy are arguing over, like, being thrown out. And they go up to the news guy. They're like, hey, they're trying to throw us out. Hey, this guy's lying. And the news is just like, I don't give a shit about the poor. There's a rich person driving up.
What are you talking about? Who gives a shit about poor people or shelter dogs or any of this? We have some white rich woman to pay attention to.
There's a white rich woman who's here to save you. That's way more interesting.
A white woman's Instagram.
And I don't know if the movie meant to make that.
No, it did
point.
not. It did not. It absolutely did not.
It's so bad.
This movie is 1,000% not on that side. This is one of the. This movie feels a little bit like Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
I was thinking that too.
Where it's just like
it's not as egregious.
No, it's not. But it is also bad. It's very. It is extreme. When you boil it down to the way that things work out in this movie, it is extremely reactionary and gross.
Yeah, so the main message of the film at this point is everything would be okay if only you had a rich white woman to save you. So she spends all of her time and money without spending any money, because her fortune is exactly $8 million, and she never spends a penny of that. But she does spend her money to reform the shelter without lowering her bank account.
Yeah, they tell her that she has. They tell you, the audience, that she has $8 million left.
Specifically,
that all of her money is gone. She only has $8 million, except that she still has like this fantastically large castle that's worth at least $8 million on its own.
It's way more
where she
than
hosts
that,
unbelievably lavish banquets with thousands of servants, and she also pays off all of the debts of this shelter and all these kinds of things. But when the end of the movie happens and she has to give up her fortune, it's still $8 million.
Yeah, it's exactly $8 million. So she reforms the place. She's definitely a new person. She's definitely cool, and you can call her Ella, which is hip. And then she goes back to the probation office.
She's like all those kids in the Fortnite. Sometimes she does a floss, if you like.
Yeah. I could see Cruella DeVille in Fortnite. I'm going to be honest.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That would happen.
God, yeah. Cruella for Dead by Daylight killer.
So she goes to the probation office to talk to our probation office hero because cops are heroes. And Big Ben goes off, which is her trigger word, her trigger sound to break her brainwashing hypnosis.
She immediately goes, it's like she gets the code activation phrase, like the purple dog flies at midnight, and she immediately, like, her eyes glow red, she snaps her head to the side, and then she grabs a puppy and snaps its neck.
Snaps its neck, her hair pops out, her shoulders pop.
Yes.
The clothing that she's wearing, the shoulders pop, and then they pop again, and then
she
her collar pops.
Transformation sequence.
Yeah, her nails grow. Like she's like
her nails grow into claws.
What the fuck?
And then she sees every person in this
as a
horrific fever dream. Yeah, everyone is colored white with black spots, like the people.
She walks outside, the people, the buses, the whole city.
Yes.
The sky.
She's having like this horrible hallucination. Total psychotic break. Like,
this is kind of an okay framing because of the post. What the fuck? Did her shoulders just pop out?
Yeah?
What? Holy shit, what?
This is...
What?
Why you're not allowed to program people.
Comfortable in the car?
We're gonna get transformation scene in this movie?
Holy shit.
What the fuck? Like, you know she killed someone walking down that street.
Oh, yeah.
She just fucking killed someone, and they didn't acknowledge it.
She skinned them alive in the middle of London. Like she does with all the
And the whole time she's orgasming.
Yes. Glenn Close
the whole
is doing the weirdest moaning, open face.
It even said, like, at the end of that scene, she, like, puts her face up against a window or something, and it's even, like, light moans.
That was at the end.
Was it? Okay.
That was the cake.
Oh, is that the cake?
That was after she got... Well, okay. I'll explain that later.
No!
Can I go in? No, I can't do it twice.
No, we can't talk about the cake moan. We need to follow up with cake moan later. It's too good to let it go now.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. We need to concentrate on the movie.
So the dogs are playing a boxing game on the PC with this old lady who I think is a maid.
Like, why?
Which is like the worst Mike Tyson's punch out I've ever seen in my fucking life. And then Oddball, which is our Dalmatian without spots, crawls out the window and almost falls off of the ledge and then is just hanging out from a piece of gutter that is rotated out over the side of the city street.
Yeah, I
don't know why.
Forgot this scene because it doesn't serve a purpose. So much of the middle of this just doesn't serve a purpose.
So the dog almost dies.
Yeah.
They save it. But the important bit is Cruella gets away during this scene. During this commotion. So they don't notice that Cruella is orgasming in the background, transforming into a werewolf, and skinning people alive.
Right.
That's the point of the Oddball scene, is to distract them from Cruella's transformation.
I don't know why they needed to, but sure.
So then Cruella and her crew of perverts go to a perverted fucking fashion show.
Tiger Dick, Tiger Dick, Tiger Dick.
Yeah.
And yes, Kraven the Hunter, Gerard Depardieu, comes out onto the catwalk and rips open his robe to show off his magnificent tiger dick that he's created.
His tiger dick and his hairy chest and sweat.
And
he's just flopping around everywhere.
people throw red paint on him at this extremely obvious, like, Funko Pop-ass looking tiger head that's the most fake non-fur thing in the universe. Because, obviously it's real fur. No, that was actually a tiger head. Absolutely. Tiger heads are often, like, 6 inches, in diameter, right?
Oh, yeah, usually, yeah.
Yeah, they're very
and
tiny. Tigers are known for being small.
They're usually stuffed with cotton, too.
And you've seen Blackadder, right?
Does he have a...
Have you seen...
Sorry. These pants are very distracting.
What? Just because he has a tiger codpiece?
He has a bubble.
That's obviously fake, that then people throw paint on because they think it's real?
He has a bobblehead leopard
It's a Funko Pop leopard dick, yeah.
Yeah, okay, sorry. No, go on. What was your question?
You've seen Blackadder, right?
I have not.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, okay.
No. Yeah, like, but he gets really mad about it, though.
What the fuck, though? Like,
I don't know.
This movie thinks you're so dumb. This movie just assumes that you're an idiot. Like, this costume looks like, as far as it being real fur, like, it's amazing in a lot of ways, but as far as it being real fur, it is fucking so far from it that it's just...
Yeah.
Anyway.
But he gets really mad. He goes back to his dressing room, and Corello shows up. And as she knocks on the door, he's drinking a glass of wine, and then he just, like, throws it at the door like fucking Dracula.
What a miserable pile of secrets is man!
What is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets. But enough talk!
Yes.
Come at you! He throws it at the fucking door, and it's really good. It's really good.
Any of the scenes with Glenn Close and Gerard Depardieu are the only reasons to watch this movie, I think.
But they come up with a plan. She wants to basically hire him as a cohort to build her Dalmatian suit, which is, again, literally the plot of the first movie.
You're doing stuff so blasé as tiger dicks. I did that 5 seasons ago, darling. Time for Dalmatian coats.
Yeah, we need Dalmatian boob socks.
She's literally making a Dalmatian hoodie.
Yeah, a hoodie. It's just a fucking hoodie.
She's making a hoodie. And the reason why it's 102 Dalmatians is that she changed the coat slightly, so now it has a hood, and thus she needs one more dog.
Otherwise, it's the same fucking story. Assholes. I can't believe how dumb they think people are.
That's the reason why there's an extra Dalmatian. Yep.
Man.
Because she wants to put a hoodie on the exact same dress.
Yeah, so they set out to steal the puppies with Alonzo, her butler, as well as Kraven the Hunter from the Spider-Man universe.
It's incredible how much
it's just that guy.
If you you could superimpose him over the 90s cartoon and just say that it's leaked Marvel footage, and people would believe you. You'd be like you could see this on a comic rant, leaked footage of Kraven the Hunter. Put it next side by side with comic book images. It's incredible.
Their plan is to steal the puppies from the shelter as well as from around town, and then frame the guy who runs the shelter for stealing the dogs.
Yes. Specifically because there's a clause in her probation, I guess, that
where
says...
if she gives up, if she does it again, the shelter gets her fortune.
Yeah.
So there's a motive to the crime.
How law works. That's law.
I am the law.
The law.
You betray the law.
Yeah.
So that's how that works.
And it fucking works.
Apparently,
even though he was on a date with the probation officer who was there at the scene when the cops show up.
Yes,
even though she goes along with it, well, you must have stole those dogs while I was on the date with you.
I was gonna say I need to talk about this because they play it up as if she's not allowed to give him an alibi for their date, and they go. well, are you hit? This is one of your probation people, right? And she goes, no. Like the main lead guy, it's not like it needed to be the setup of she's dating the other guy who's actually on probation. And it's like, oh, it's forbidden love. We're not allowed to do this. But the movie itself, it feels like the movie set that all up and then they forgot about it.
A probation officer cannot date their fucking client.
Right? But he's not. And it feels like movie itself, like the plot itself forgot that until they get to this scene.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, because the officers even say, oh, is this one of yours when they're arresting him? And she goes, no. And they're like, well, where was he last night? And they both go like, can't say that I was dating.
Yeah, they can't say boning me, right?
Why?
But why can't? Yeah, it's not.
There's no reason. There's literally nothing stopping this. And then, like you said, beyond that, she even goes like, well, maybe that was an implanted memory. Maybe I actually wasn't on a date with you all night.
yeah, like maybe they somehow fed me a bunch of drugs and brainwashed me and changed my memory.
maybe I was in the dog prison the entire time and Big Ben unwashed me.
More movies need to enter the Dalmatian dimension.
The Dalmatian dimension.
It's like the Columbo zone, but better in some way.
I'm gonna have to send you to the Columbo dimension.
The what?
I just, like, it is nonsensical that she doesn't understand that he couldn't have done it. She's with him the entire night.
Everybody in this movie is morons.
She's it's not like it doesn't set up like a weird series of comical mishaps where he like leaves the date occasionally or like, oh, he goes missing for a while. Like there's no reason. There's literally not a single time where
they aren't together.
No, and they give her like a note. She's like, oh, can I see the list of houses that were hit? And it doesn't even do, like, I thought when they gave her that, when she asked about that, because they're talking about her alibi, and they go, she'd be like, oh, they're all on the route of the date that we had. So, like, maybe you slipped away at various times. No, they don't say anything about that. She just looks at them and she goes, wow, I can't believe you did all of that while we were on our date together. And it's like, wait, how? How did he do it?
Just dumb as hell. I mean, to be fair, the cops wouldn't actually look into anything. They would just arrest him and throw him in prison.
Well,
they don't care.
Sure, but, like... Fuck!
But she should at least try.
It's so frustrating. The other thing is that I want to mention here, I just want to set up the way that he like falls for her. One of the first things is they go to a puppet show. He's going to a puppet show and she like runs into him and he is buying tickets for him and the dogs.
Well, the dogs need to pay too. It's a capitalist hellscape, so.
I don't know. So he's paying for the tickets to watch this puppet show because apparently that's a thing in London. I don't know. And the way that he connects with her is that when he's getting his change back from the ticket booth, like a couple of pennies, he puts it in his pocket and she immediately looks at him and she goes, oh my God, you don't count your change to make sure they didn't rip you off?
Yeah.
And he looks at her and he goes, no. Who does that? Because that's a fucking psychotic thing to do. that is like, okay, I get it if it was like $100 bill or something, but it wasn't. It was a couple of fucking pieces of change.
Yeah, but she then says, but you're so poor.
Well, I'm
right.
I don't
like,
know.
That's where they connect. They connect over the fact that she likes poor people.
I don't see. I read it differently. I'm not sure which way it's doing it, and both ways are terrible.
I know.
Because the one way is she's like, "Oh, well, you're so poor. Why aren't you counting your change?" Which is cool.
Awful, yeah.
Yes. The other way is she is so fucking controlling and so distrustful of people that she thinks that she needs to count change from like puppet show ticket vendors because they're going to rip her off for like 2 pence.
Well, the puppet show was in the bad part of the neighborhood, so you have to watch out. Like that's her character.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and the reason why that's so bad is that she's the main heroine, and none of this is ever shown as wrong. This is shown as her being right all the time.
Yeah.
So poor people are just gonna fucking steal from you, don't you know? They'll rip you off for 2 pennies, and you've got to arrest them and throw them away because remember, criminals never reform.
Yeah, every single thing she says is proved as correct, and it's all awful.
And it's all awful reactionary pro-cop, like, people never reform, they're all awful monsters, they'll rip you off if you turn your back shit.
Great. So Cruella invites her to her horrible dog, like, dinner/ball.
Yes.
With all of her rich friends that also have dogs, because she's still playing the part of I'm nice.
And then she feeds them dog faces.
And then she feeds them dogs.
She feeds them dog faces.
And the whole scene is just dogs eating these other cooked dogs, and it's gross as fuck. And what? It's like the scene in Rocky Horror where they have like Eddie on the table and they're eating him.
Yes.
It's terrifying.
It makes no sense either because, like, why are there dogs at this dinner? Why do they let the dogs jump up past the guests and eat from the dog plates?
That's why I'm
did
saying
she cook them as dog faces?
It feels like a horror murder movie thing, right? Like it doesn't. It's like a cannibal thing. It doesn't feel right. Why is this here?
It's just weird and disconcerting for no reason other than to be weird and disconcerting.
But our main character, female lead.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember either of their characters because they don't have any charisma.
I do not remember their names in the slightest.
Our probation officer.
They don't care. The movie doesn't care who these 2 leads are.
No. But she wanders off in Corella's mansion because Fluffy, the dog that they got originally for Cruella when she got out on probation, because she now likes dogs, but she hates dogs, and it was a cover. Also hates Cruella, so at this point that dog shows our main character where Cruella's sex dungeon is.
Yes. But also, like, she still kept Fluffy because
it's a cover.
Because okay.
Yeah. But so the dog leads her to the sex dungeon where she still has the pinup of her new Dalmatian coat that she's working on. And then Cruella wanders in while she's in there, and she's like, "Oh, I was going to kill you later, but I guess now's fine." And then she just cask of amontillados her into her sex dungeon and bricks her in.
So, does having a drawing of a Dalmatian coat somewhere in your apartment make you suddenly evil now? Like, are you now immediately thrown into jail? Is that a thing?
It does, because it's the exact plot of the first movie and they didn't know what else to do. So they're treating that as evidence of her going back on her ways by putting look, she gets off to the Dalmatian code drawing in her sex dungeon. All right, I'm not going to go into more detail on that.
But I wonder why, like, they don't have like a captured dog yet or anything. There's nothing there. It's
not yet.
Just she's doing pre-crime is what's happening.
Yeah.
Like, there's been no crimes yet, but she's now pre-criming Cruella, and so Cruella has to brick her in. Like, I'm on Cruella's side at this point in a way, because this person's like, "Oh, I'm gonna arrest you for it," and it's like, for what?
Yeah.
Cruella hasn't done anything. She's done nothing. I guess she framed him, right?
She framed him. She's evil, but
there's no proof of that. There's nothing there.
Well, there's no proof because she immediately believed the evidence and
she just gaslit herself to not believe that she was on a date. I don't know.
Anyway, so at the same time, Kraven goes in to steal the puppies, the Dalmatians, and Oddball, who now has a sweater with spots on it because
he attacked the puppet show
and stole it from the puppet show. Whatever. But anyways, so Kraven runs in, Oddball starts running away, and then part of the sweater gets stuck on a table and starts pulling out the thread. And then we AT-AT
And Oddball
Empire
goes,
Strikes Back.
Red Squadron in, reporting in. I'm going in for attack. Pattern Delta, Blue Leader standing by.
And then they just AT-AT Empire Strikes Back on Hotham around with the string and knock him over. And it's fucking hilarious. It's actually good. It makes no fucking sense. It's good.
He's also like smashed into every single corner of this apartment, like through walls, into windows. He now collapses into the closet and pulls down all of the shelving. Nobody's heard any of this, huh?
To be fair, none of the neighbors would probably call because they're like, why would they? Right?
You don't call the cops.
You don't call the cops,
especially not in this universe where apparently you're not allowed to. If you do something like steal dogs, they'll throw you in a dog prison and drug you.
Yeah, that's how it works.
And that's correct.
That's the right thing to do. That's what the movie's telling me.
To do.
Yeah.
Well, and the only reason why it wasn't the right thing to do is because they let her out.
Oh,
that was the mistake. See, because she doesn't reform. You can't reform.
There's no way to reform. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Kraven then steals a bunch of the dogs and they put them on a crate on the Orient Express.
Why did that
specifically?
Reason for that?
No.
Because we saw that and you're like, wait, is there going to be a murder?
Yeah, is Hercule Poirot going to show up? Is this an Agatha Christie movie now? What's happening? Why are they on the Orient Express?
There's no point to Orient Express, and then they never even do anything with the train afterwards, really.
Anyway, at the same time, the main character guy breaks out of prison and just shows up back at the house when our main female lead is crying over the lost dogs. And he's like, hey, I broke out of prison.
Yeah, and she just goes, oh, okay, yeah, I believe you. But she doesn't even say that. She just... She doesn't even say, like, oh, I believe you, I'm sorry that I didn't be your alibi for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
They just kind of start doing adventure stuff. They don't have any moment of, like, oh, I'm sorry that I accused you and threw you in prison. Why are you no longer in prison?
Yeah, it's not addressed.
No, she doesn't address, like, oh, maybe you were Cruella's lackey? No, none of that. Nothing. Nope. Nah.
So, they follow them to the Orient Express. Yes. Because one of the dogs just randomly picks up a flyer for it and is like, oh, this must be where they went.
Why? I don't know. I guess Cruella would go on the Orient Express, probably. I mean, that's correct. But
I guess. Yeah. So they follow them there, and then that eventually leads them to Kraven the Hunter's first sweatshop.
Yes, his London's, like, 1800s capitalism. There's every single person that's, like, British in the random, like, non-main characters in this film are all wearing, like...
They're like babushkas.
Caps and, like... They're so traditionally British in, like, the Disney fake way that it's amazing.
Well, okay.
Please, sir, can I have some more gruel?
It's exactly that, yeah. So Kraven's there, and he's schmoozing up on Cruella, like, begging for the sex.
Yes.
And Cruella's really into it.
They have way more charisma than our leads. Holy shit. She wants that tiger dick.
And I'm gonna be honest... Men only want one thing, and it's disgusting, and it's to be exactly like Kraven the Hunter with a tiger.
It's Kraven the Hunter.
That's the only thing
I want. Kraven the Hunter with a tiger dick.
Like, yeah, that's all I want.
I don't watch Marvel movies anymore. I don't care about the superhero movies. I'm so done with them.
I would watch a Kraven
gave me
movie,
Gerard Depardieu in this Kraven the Hunter outfit for the next Spider-Man. I'm so fucking in.
You don't even need Spider-Man. Just give me Kraven.
Just give me Kraven. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I don't care.
Do Kraven the Hunter as a movie? Oh, with this costuming?
Yeah. Talk about sweatshop. Am I right? But anyway, so their heroes find the dogs in the basement of the sweatshop, which have miraculously not been killed yet. They kept all 102 of them alive
at once before you can kill them.
Which is
why? I don't know.
Dumb as hell. It doesn't even make any sense. And then Cruella spots them going into the basement and shows up. And he's like, I can't wait to do a murder. And then Cask of Amontillado them again into this basement.
Yes.
It's a different basement, so it's
it didn't
fine.
work last time, Cruella.
No,
I feel like Cruella doesn't understand how to do the crime that she's trying to do. You do
No.
actually have to kill someone at some point. Like, you've got, whether it's a dog or a person, you've got to do a murder, Cruella. She doesn't actually kill or harm anyone in these films.
Anything at all, yeah.
Like, her crimes are kind of minor in a way, because she doesn't actually do any of it.
No. So Alonzo's really upset that Kraven's trying to bone his trophy wife.
Yes.
Which,
I mean,
that's not
when you put it that way, I never connected it, but yeah.
That's not wrong.
And in the background of the scene the whole time is the digga dog, digga dog.
Digga digga dog, digga digga dog. They could have made a funk porn digga digga dog in this, and it would have fit. That's what's upset about that. But okay, so Alonzo decides he's so mad at Kraven the Hunter that he's changing sides, and now he's gonna try and protect the puppies and fight Kraven in a one-on-one fight to the death. And they start a knife fight, and Kraven pulls out a fucking Bowie knife, and Alonzo pulls out, like, I don't even know what it is. It's some sort of a switchblade spoon?
Yeah.
What is it? It doesn't even make sense. It's a rounded thing, but it's not a knife. But it has a
We
handle
joked
of a
about
knife.
it being a spoon, because that would be funny.
Yeah.
But the problem is the movie didn't do that. The movie just has him pull out, like, a piece of wood that looks like it has, like, a weird metal round thing attached, but it's not a spoon. Like, I don't know how to describe it, because it's not an item that exists.
It just doesn't make sense. It's nonsensical. Yeah.
They fucked their own joke up.
They did.
Like, just have him pull out a fork or something. Like, give him something stupid to pull out, but recognizable. Don't make it something that no one knows what it is, because maybe it is a weapon. I don't know what the fuck that was.
But you know what Alonzo does weaponize? He takes the means of production and weaponizes the workers against Kraven the Hunter.
He sure does.
Who then sew him into his own fur coat and then knock him down and beat him up until all the workers go, yay! For knocking him out. As the sweatshop revolutionizes Viva la France. Because it's in Paris.
Was it? It might have...
the sweatshop's in Paris. That's where the Orient Express went.
But
he's a French stereotype, so it makes sense.
Okay, no. Hold up. I didn't know that was the case. I missed that part.
Yes,
but
that's why they said
this...
that's why the dogs spoke French.
Yeah,
your face right now.
But like everyone in the sweatshop is like stereotypically British. Like
some of them are
London governor.
Well, there were some women that were like babushkas from Romania. So
I guess
it doesn't make any sense. It's fine.
There's nothing French.
So Cruella gets pissed at Oddball, who broke out all the dogs, because the parrot, Eric Idle in a parrot costume, made a hole in the floor that the dogs get through one by one, which would take a really long fucking time, by the way.
To be fair, macaws have fucking beaks on them, dude. I don't know have you ever owned birds?
No.
Birds will rip through shit. Holy hell, birds are terrifying.
But the point is, Cruella follows them into a factory of death. And I'll let you talk about the factory, because this is your joy. You're welcome.
Well, you see, Cruella gets baked into a cake, and then a bunch of dogs circle around her and furiously cream all over her, and then shove her up against the wall where she goes, ugh. Oh, and they spit in her mouth.
That's all true, though. That's what sucks.
Before she moans. They tie her up, they ice all over her, and then they spit in her mouth and throw her against the wall where she moans.
Before all that, they
they also kill her.
Yeah, they also fucking murder her.
They murder her
in cold blood.
Cruella. This whole scene, the whole time you had been going, God, there's no violence in this. There's supposed to be like upsetting levels of violence. What are they talking about? And then the whole time this is going on, you're going, Jesus Christ! Oh my god, Jesus Christ! Like over and over and over again. Because they throw her into a mixer.
Yes.
And then blend her up while she's upside down drowning in it. Like with
drowning in the mixer of
yes.
like cake batter or something, yeah.
Yes. And then they dump her out of that. And a rolling pin, like industrial rolling pin.
Which would crush your bones.
Comes down. Well, and like first it like takes her out at the knees. Like it comes in at like
it breaks her legs and then crushes her skull.
Yes, and then it rolls over her multiple times.
Yeah.
Like over and over again, while her head just keeps going like thump, 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 thump into this conveyor belt at like high speed through this like industrial steamroller. Is this a cement mix? What is this?
I think it is. They're literally murdering Cruella in cement.
Oh yeah, she's fucking dead.
Look at this!
Oh my god!
Look at this! Oh my god! This is beyond cartoon at this point. They fucking murdered her. And then the guillotine shows up.
You're not kidding! This is the thing! She pulls a lever. Well, sorry, the dogs pull a lever that is supposed to chop the bread up, and it is a guillotine. It's a bunch of guillotines that come down and, like, slice the conveyor belt. Cruella's out of the way of that, but she throws the fucking dog into it.
Yes, and then slap. The blades come down, but the dog's fine. It's fine. Yeah, the dog that dog didn't die, so...
But unfortunately, Cruella's not so lucky because then they throw her in a fucking oven.
And bake her alive. Which is hot enough and long enough to bake a cake around her, but not melt her into a skeleton inside of it.
Well, they do.
Somehow.
She comes out like the Terminator and they have to crush her in a vice.
Oh, yeah, that happens.
Her eyes start glowing red and part of her face peels off and you can see the metal underneath.
And then this is the scene where all the dogs are stepping on, like, colored cream tubes to just, like, splat all over.
Spray all over
sprinkles
Cruella.
on her.
Keep
Why? It's so fucking weird.
Every single time, it always comes down to weird perversions, dude. Every fucking time, there's some weird, horny pervert at the helm of these movies. Every children's dog movie, we've learned a dark, terrible secret about dog movies in that they are entirely occupied and run by fucking weird perverts.
This movie starts off on razor thin edge of just people boning each other on set, and then just goes further. I don't understand.
Further than you'd ever imagine.
I don't understand. What? Shame.
Okay, they're creaming all over Cruella.
Shame. What is wrong with
Have you ever
this
wanted
movie?
to see a bunch of dogs cream all over?
No.
Just ice blend clothes.
You need phrasing. This is important. You can't say that.
They're just spraying all over her.
Oh, now they're spitting on her.
Oh, man, that one's spitting her mouth.
Oh, this is...
And now for the topper.
No, this isn't...
You may now kick the bride.
Fuck, they're just really giving it to her, huh?
Yeah, they creamed all over her, spit in her mouth. I said, really gave it to her.
You know what I meant. And I will not acknowledge that. That's a quiet moan. Fuck. But then she gets arrested in cake form.
Yeah.
And all of her fortune goes to the shelter, and that's the end of the movie. Bow wow wow, yippee yo, yippee yay, bow wow, Snoop Doggy Dog.
Digga dog, bow wow.
They
have that song play over the weirdest scenes. It's just constantly throughout the movie.
Well,
And like
it's,
you said, like a couple
it's
times
constantly,
played
but
at,
it's
double
like
speed.
it's like during the tension moments.
Yeah.
Like they have an orchestral tension, and then it's like you just need to remember it's there.
It's often very quietly in the background. Like it's hard to make out.
Yeah,
like it doesn't like come to the forefront. It's just very weirdly in the background.
The first 2 times it happened, I thought I was just hearing things.
Yes. Yeah,
like,
I thought so
that
too.
can't be real.
Yeah.
What? No.
Like, did they put? Wait, do I hear dig? Is that a digga dog?
Yeah. Like, what?
Yeah, and then there is.
No, it's there. That's
It's
not
there.
a joke. It's just there.
But it, like I said, it's almost subliminal. Like it's so
it's subliminal and it's sinister.
Yeah,
it's like if you took Who Let the Dogs Out and made it a horror thing.
Yeah, played it over like a chase scene in Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
or
like Tubular Bells or something.
So fucking weird.
Yeah,
it's so weird. There's so much about this movie that makes no sense. So then our heroine gets to have a big thing about, see, a dog can't change its spots. Cruella is always going to be a monster. All criminals are evil, and that's the moral of the story. She turns and looks at the camera and she goes, see, kids, and that's why we need the death penalty for every single criminal. All criminals are monsters. Poor people that have to do crimes are absolute monsters, and they deserve to die for it. I'm correct. Cops are good. Have a good day, kids. Like,
no, this is word for word the script. That's not a joke. That's the script.
Yeah, she does. Like,
but they
she
up.
comes in has a backwards chair and goes like, "Hey, kids, I just want to talk to you about the meaning of this film."
Yeah, right. It's like a drug ad from the 80s or something. But here's the problem: they fuck up their own moral because at the end, Oddball gets a spot.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the moral?
Dogs that didn't have spots. Yeah.
If nobody can change, that means Oddball can't change. So Oddball should be fine in their own skin. But the moral is that it's fine. You'll become what everybody wants you to be anyway. So, like, just don't worry about it. The point is you should be like everyone else.
Conform.
What
I guess that I never thought about that either. Because, the one dog
This movie feels like if I put on some sunglasses, I would see some fucking things in it. Right?
Every time that Cruella's on screen with her like weird outfits, it would like blank out and just say like consume.
Consume.
Police are good, actually.
The only way that you can do anything in society of worth is to work. Like big signs in the background and shit. Like, it has to be. It's a they live situation. If you play the movie backwards, it plays satanic music.
I feel like, well, I mean, to be fair, every Disney movie is a they live situation. That's what they live is about. That's
my God.
It means.
We need Rowdy Piper. That's what would have saved this movie. Just
Rowdy
Piper with a shotgun.
Rowdy Piper versus Gerard Depardieu as Kraven the Hunter.
I'm in.
Oh, I need to see this.
I'm in. This is a movie. Okay, we need to talk to Sony. Does Sony own the rights to Kraven? Who owns the rights? We have a film.
Yeah, they got them with Spider-Man. They specifically were like, okay, we want Spider-Man. Do you want anybody else from the Spider-Man universe? Kraven. We need
specifically Kraven.
Hunter.
We're gonna make
anyone else? No.
We're gonna make a really pervy film.
Just need Kraven.
We're gonna make a nasty man.
We're gonna do a nasty Spider-Man. Who can we get as nasty Kraven? Gerard Depardieu. He's French. We know how. We know the French.
They're already doing Venom, and Venom like eats people. It's fine. They'll do the Kraven movie. They don't care.
I mean, we know that Tom Hardy eats ass.
I mean, Gerard Depardieu.
Tom Hardy, who we know eats ass, and Kraven the Hunter, who we know fucks because he's got a tiger dick.
Gerard Depardieu definitely eats ass.
Yes.
That's not a...
Well, he's French. We know what they eat. This movie is very much like Cruel to the French, too, where they just like make him I feel bad for Gerard Depardieu because they keep on making it like, oh, he says poopies.
He says
doesn't
poop
understand how to
instead
say
of pup.
poopies.
Ooh. Yeah, this movie is very American in that it hates foreigners.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're all really weird, kind of gross caricatures.
Yeah, and anybody different than you is wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's our nice uplifting episode of 102 Dalmatians. Woo! Let's rate the dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oddball. Oddball is the puppy without spots, who is our main dog character, I think.
So you say how you think, because the thing is I don't. You're gonna name a lot of dogs in this, and they're about as forgettable as the human.
Well, the dogs talk. I just have no idea what the fuck they were saying.
Yes.
I have no idea what they're doing or what their plot is, but they talk. Damn it. Oddball is a cute puppy, I guess, and does cute stunts sometimes that aren't CG. I guess.
That aren't CG. Yeah, sure. They're not. Definitely not. Definitely not CG. I'll give this a not CG out of 10. That's where all the money went, honestly.
Oddballs should have been fine in their own fur, but somehow got a spot, and that's the moral out of 10. Waddlesworth, the parrot, who is a Rottweiler, but actually a retriever.
Fuck, that joke is so bad.
I hate Waddlesworth.
Flies and grabs a dog and goes, I guess I was actually a retriever.
So in the same instance that I want the dogs to talk so I know what the fuck they're doing, I want Waddlesworth to shut the fuck up.
Yes. 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 Shut the fuck up, Eric Idle out of 10.
Shut the fuck up, Eric Idle out of 10. I agree.
This movie that's something that we didn't mention about this movie. This movie is boring and nothing happens for at least half of it because it's just boring romantic shit with no chemistry between the two leads that don't like each other and have no charisma or chemistry with anyone. And at the same time, it doesn't know when to shut the fuck up. Everything is
There's
constant noise
everywhere.
It's constant noise.
Yeah.
It was one of those movies where, like, halfway through you go, God damn it, just be quiet for a minute.
And then when they're quiet, you're like, fucking explain.
Yes. What do you mean the dog talks French?
There's no winning. There's no winning with this movie. It has no idea what it's doing. There's also Dottie and Dipstick, which they're adult dogs. I thought they were both cute.
How did you remember these? I did not. Oh my god! Thank you. I appreciate the work.
I don't know the characters' name for the human characters, but I know the dogs.
I tried, but I could not remember these for the life of me, and I just want people to like appreciate the incredible power that Boyks has demonstrated here. You would have to watch this movie to understand how incredibly hard it would be to actually remember the dogs' names, because this movie is fucking chloroform in film.
I would rate them as dogs that are technically on screen out of 10.
Yeah.
And then the last dog is Fluffy, which is like hairless
I did remember
dog.
Fluffy.
I
Fluffy
think
is like the Chinese hairless. Yeah.
Fluffy's like a cute dog. It also very easily betrays Cruella and fights for the side of justice.
And it opens a door on its own.
And it opens a door on its own.
It pulls over a little like stepping stool to help itself, and then jumps up and unlocks a door. And that wasn't CG'd, and I love it.
So I would give Fluffy a 12 out of 10. That's a good dog.
I'm giving Fluffy a 10 out of 10 because Fluffy did all of that, and it was all in service to help release the cop. So I'm just gonna bring Fluffy down a notch there. But it's not Fluffy's fault, it's this universe.
Okay. That's 102 Dalmatians, I guess. Great.
I'd rate Glenn Close 102 out of 10. She's fantastic in this.
Glenn Close is the best part of the film.
Kraven, sorry,
and
no.
Kraven,
Actually, I'm going to give her a 51 out of 10 because Kraven the Hunter needs the other 51 because they were both the reasons what carried this film.
Yeah, they're both 102 Dalmatians.
Together,
total out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's fair. That's fair. And they bone.
Oh yeah, well, you know that they join exactly.
Yeah, they even
put
make
them
a
together
joke
because you know they fuck.
You even know they fuck because at the dinner, Cruella goes "Bon appetit," wink, wink, nudge, wink, nudge, wink.
She does do that. And then all the dogs devour the dog faces while the guests stare on in abject horror.
So fucked up.
Weird pervert shit is all I can say about this movie. It's just weird pervert shit.
This is
and
the type.
Boring.
This is the type of thing that sits in your brain when you watch it as a kid as a sleeper agent. To wake up
the Big Ben
20 years later when a
you.
fucking bell rings, and you're like, no.
A specific Big Ben bell. Only Big Ben.
I repress that memory. It's gone. You can't bring that back.
Your activation net phrase happens and you just immediately grab a dog and snap it in half.
Oh man. Alright, well anyway, I'm gonna blow this train whistle for literally no reason, so.
We'll see you next time. This was episode 70.
Digga dog, digga dog. Digga dog, digga dog. Digga dog, digga dog.